Hi, thank you for joining us on Gotham Sound TV. I'm joined by Peter Schneider.
Hello, everybody.
And TK from ATL.
Hello, hello.
I'm Nick Huston, and today is our first, what we hope will be a monthly wrap-up for June 2023. So with these wrap-ups, the goal is to discuss everything that happened in the month, including new products, apps, things that are interesting, discontinued thing, basically anything that we could think of that might be interesting in the world of sound, specifically location recording, but not limited to that. This is pre-recorded, so any questions or comments, we will get back to you as always, and we'll leave our email address at the end. But Peter, why don't you kick us off? I know you just completed a video featuring the wireless Workbench 7 by Shure.
Yes. So I really love the new wireless Workbench 7. It's very, very similar to the previous versions of wireless Workbench in terms of functionality. So to recap that, it does frequency coordination, control, and monitoring for Shure products, but can also do frequency coordination for non-Shure products. And it's free. It's an amazing piece of software. What's new for wireless Workbench 7 is community frequency scans. And so, anybody can upload a scan into a central web database, and people can benefit from that. So it's very, very cool. And I really think that this is a great trend to see these manufacturers embracing this kind of open data sourcing.
Yeah, and let's not forget about dark mode also.
Dark mode, yes.
Because who hasn't been, in some control room with a giant white screen that gives them a headache after 24 hours?
That's right. Yeah.
And I guess the thing to mention about the video you did with Ben Escobedo was great. And you actually had it set up so that Ben was controlling your setup
remotely, from his home in Connecticut. But again, Shure has completely open standards, open networking standards, open API. So he was controlling our stuff through a VPN from hundreds of miles away, but then also using his Stream Deck to control our stuff. So, it's really cool what you can do once manufacturers embrace that open technology.
Well, continuing on RF distribution, let's talk about Wireless System Builder.
Sure. So continuing on, we got RF Venue announced this month their system builder. Very, very cool. Again, it's an open web-based portal. I am not 100% sure I even had to put in my contact information. I may be wrong about that. But I always appreciate that when you're in a hurry and you don't have to enter everything in. But anyways, it lets you specify a geographic area, and it pulls from the FCC database. It lets you specify equipment, and it'll provide a frequency coordination for you. It's a really great thing. I've shared it with a bunch of our salespeople here. People want to want an answer to the question, what's the best frequency for my area? This is a handy place to match not only what are the open frequencies in their area, but also what equipment that they may already have matches those open frequencies, like what bands in their equipment.
And this is a web-based app, right? So it does not
Nothing
require...
to download, yeah. The Shure, to be fair, the Shure is an app. And so, this is completely, if you can get to a web page, you can use this.
Cool. And sticking with the RF Venue vein, they've released a new antenna, which is pretty interesting. So the CP Architectural. So if you want to talk about that too.
Yeah, sure. CP Architectural is a, let's call it a boardroom-friendly antenna. It can be used for transmit or receive. Looks at home as part of office decoration. I am a huge fan of hiding things like antennas in plain sight. I've been able to get away with it on sci-fi stuff where the art department, builds the antenna in. This is boardroom friendly. Like I said, it's paintable. So it really is a great way to get the antenna closer to the signal that you desire.
So for your installations, obviously, that's the obvious place, but also for as practical, something where it hides in a drop ceiling, either in a built set or in a conference room.
I mean, it would look
setting.
right at home.
Right.
Yeah.
if this were Office Space, we would be able to pick up the RF of the stapler.
That's right.
Yeah. Sorry for the dated reference. Okay, so let's talk about some other new stuff then. So this one's by Sennheiser. It's the MZF 8000 Mark II. For those of you not familiar with the 8000 series, the 8000 series is Sennheiser's capsule-based microphone system, including the 8040, 8050, 8060, 8070. I think there's an 8020. But the MZF 8000 Mark I was a small capsule that would go in between the microphone capsule and the preamp capsule, giving you high-pass filtering options and a pad. So this new version basically has a built-in high-pass filter. Looks like it's at negative 3 dB at 16 hertz, and basically it's going to filter out all of that handling noise, rumble, the infrasound that you sometimes get. So it's for those of you that are using the 8000 series on the end of a boom, or maybe in a car where you're getting some rumble you need to filter out, that's what it's going to be good for.
Right. And it's, that mic is great for both of those applications because it's so small. And I think this filter will be a really good addition.
And the 8050 is a great sounding mic. I mean, I own that one. I used it as an interview mic and a plant mic for a long time, or booming in small environments. So yeah, great. All right, well, let's move on to another new product. So new from Cinela, and also kind of talking about a Sennheiser microphone. This is a Cinela Cosi for the MKH50. It's kind of been a secret product for a while they tested it out, and we know the Cinela people are really particular to make sure everything is just so, and now it's an official product, so that means it is just so. So for anybody that already owns a Cosi of the appropriate size, you can get a new back cradle for it to be able to plug in your MKH50 and use it with your Cosi, and they're a great team.
They had a lot of requests for this, and I feel like this is just, nice to see it finally happen and it be an official product. So yeah, it's nice to see that from Cinela, and hopefully more cool things on the way from them.
Yeah. And I think, to give you a background as to why this is kind of interesting or challenging, is that most microphones have, are round, and they're just like, what diameter does it? But the MKH50, as those older microphones are, has kind of a rectangular back, or even a rectangular with like a little bit of rounding on it. So it was a very specific fit that needed to happen to go into the Cosi.
Nice.
All right. So Zaxcom, and this has been for a while. Zaxcom has discontinued the TRX 743, their plug-on transmitter, and replaced it with the TRX 745. And basically the 745, much like the LA5, just gives you a boatload of more options in terms of frequencies. So it does all the way, I believe it's from 512 up to 608, and then can do the guard band and the duplex gap all the way up to 663. So it gives you that more flexibility. So it's really giving you that more. So if you've got a QRX200, an RX200, something with that full spectrum that you can use in the US, you're going to be able to use your plug-on. Updates about a new product that is not quite here yet, that a lot of people call about. As of today, the Wisycom MTP61 is on back order. We are expecting it in mid-July at some point. As we know more, we will send out an email. The first one that comes in, we'll have a party. We'll shoot off fireworks. It will be like the 4th of July, part 2. So in addition to the MTP1 being pushed back by a little bit, from Deity, the PR2 pocket recorder and the Theos digital have now been pushed back until September. So we won't have pricing information about that for a little while, probably late summer, August, maybe September. We'll know the pricing. Once we have it, we'll post it on the website. But there's some other exciting news from Deity.
Yes. If you are looking to get your fix on Deity and you can't wait till September, we have Deity in our rental department now in both New York and Atlanta. So feel free to come test any of the slates. We also have the TC1s. So yeah, we can do a 3-pack. I believe that's how they, package it. So yeah, come try out the Deity stuff. We could do in-store demos, or we can ship this out to you. Let us know what your needs are, and we'll try to meet that.
And it's specifically in our rental department in both New York and Atlanta. So if you need them for a job, you can rent them.
It's really beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really kudos to Deity for their rental program. Thank you, Andrew.
Yes.
Yes.
SoundCart has announced a new SoundCart that they're calling the Orange Edition. From what I can tell on the specs, and we have it up on our website, link in the comments, it is basically a black MiniCart with an orange handle.
So it's not an orange cart.
It is not orange.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've got 4 MiniCarts. They've got the MiniCart, which is the original silver, beautiful looking cart, very trim and slim. They've got the black cart, which is the MiniCart, the original MiniCart in black. And then they've got the purple, and now they have the orange. And so basically the only difference in the specs is that it is the actual handle color. That's what I've been able to glean. But let's talk about some new stuff now. TK, you've been looking at the new Soundbag dashboard system.
Yeah, these are super cool, kind of in theme with where everyone seems to be moving towards, slimming down their bag, lots of modularity, mixing different brands of wireless, different brands of recorders, having a little bit of everything in one sound bag. So this allows you to get the rail that matches your mixer. And then they have specific rails for each mixer. And then from there, you get the it's basically a receiver caddy, and you would slide that into the rail, and you can orient them horizontal or vertically. So it allows you to essentially build it, however you'd like it on top of your mixer. And it's really, really cool. I really appreciate that modularity and letting people work with whatever works for them in terms of, oh, maybe I need, 2 channels of Zax and a little bit of Shure, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So it gives you that flexibility, which is super cool. It's all very, very cinched together. So very good build quality as well.
Yeah, keeping your bag tight so things are not kind of flopping around and scratching each other and potentially damaging if it gets moved around while it's in a case or something like that.
Right. And another new product we have for Max Sound is going to be their small Boom Buddy. It's a 4-section carbon fiber pole. It's budget friendly. It's going to be about 6 feet in total length. About maybe 24 inches fully collapsed. So yeah, looks to be something that will be pretty good for those wanting to get a budget-friendly pole. I've not held this in my hand physically, so I can't physically tell you how it works, but for everything I can see in the picture, the collars look pretty nice. Pricing should be around $200, and availability should be coming soon in around the next 2 weeks, I imagine. So yeah. Let's look forward to that.
One thing I think that's pretty cool about something like that is it's a great backup pole. Traveling these days is problematic. It's hard to carry on a real boom pole.
And I think the as an interview pole for a second pole.
Yeah.
If you're just going to do a sit down interview, you want to throw it in a bag or throw it in your case and do something simple without the the 16-footer. 20-footer.
So speaking of smaller boom pole options, K-Tek also has a new pole. It's going to be called the KC108. This is going to be a 5-section pole extending all the way to 9 feet and collapse. It's going to be 30 inches roughly. So yeah, another lightweight option coming in at about 1.2 pounds. And yeah, it's going to be packable. You could travel with this inside a Pelican 1650, I believe, is what they've rated this for. And yeah, so just a requested poll. So nice to see that K-Tek has fulfilled this. In addition, K-Tek's also having their red, white, and boom sale in July. They'll start on the 3rd and go to the 10th. So look forward for that. We'll have some links in the description. They have about 10 polls for sale, all very travel friendly. So yeah, check that out.
All right, red, white, and boom. So speaking of other sales, Zoom has their monthly rebates going on, a couple of handheld and field recorders, as well as their live sound mixers. So I'll just read them here. We've got the H1N VP, the M2, the M4, the F3, the L8, L12. All the details of the sale will be in the link in the description on our website, etc., running now until about mid-July. Not new, but definitely interesting and something that's been in the Zeitgeist. There's my German accent because we're talking about Schoeps.
Good word too, by the way.
Thank you. I know there's a lot of really interesting German words. Rankenbanken, I think, is ambulance. Anyway, Schoeps had an improvement they made to their CMIT 5U back in 2021, 2 years ago, around serial number 9000. And this improves the performance of that mic in humid situations. So if you have an older Schoeps, at this point that's 2 or 3 years old, it can be sent back to Schoeps. It takes about 2 or 3 months for this upgrade and costs anywhere from $675 to $875. It depends on the condition of the microphone. Schoeps has very exacting standards, and so if they're going to fix something, they're going to fix it all the way. So that's something that you can coordinate through our service department or your local service department or the Schoeps distributor. However you want to get your Schoeps updated, you can do it.
Nice.
So now actually some interesting things. There are price reductions and not just sales, but permanent reductions.
Love that.
Love that. So the first one is the Glensound Divine. Has been reduced by $100.
Now, I'm a huge fan of the Divine. For people that don't know it, it's a Dante PoE speaker. It's got 4 channels in. It's got all kinds of features. It sounds really great. We use it here in our studio. Jared, if you don't mind, talk from Brooklyn through our Divine.
Hello, this is Jared, your technical director.
Very
Nice.
good.
Yeah.
So now $100 cheaper.
So how much is it?
It's now $595.
It's a bargain.
Yep.
It's a steal.
It's a bargain,
Yeah.
wicked bargain.
And next up on the price reductions is going to be from Bubblebee, their Sidekick IFB, available in mono and stereo still. New price for that is going to be $311 for the stereo version, and then $208 for the mono version. So yeah, more price reductions. Great to see.
Yep. And Zoom also going down $50 on the H5 and the Q2N 4K. That's a permanent $50 price reduction. But the biggest price reduction, and probably the most interesting price reduction, is from Konos. And their Konos mic, which has been very interesting from us, and we've done a lot of coverage at NAB, formerly priced at $49.95, now available at $29.95.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had a meeting with them the other day. They really want to be able to get mics in hands, and people have said, the cost is cost prohibitive. And so they listened. And so they, it's a pretty good deal.
That's cool. And, they definitely have a lot of things in store.
Happy to see this as a price reduction. I know initially when we talked about this, that was something that we brought up in discussions. So it'll be cool to see what is on the horizon for how they continue to improve their product.
Yeah, and I think one thing to mention specifically about Konos is that we do have one in-house for demo, and people have enjoyed it. So if you're interested in trying it out, even if you're not sure if it's right for you, by all means contact us, and it's a free demo.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
And that's us, New York and Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep.
Nationwide. So just a note about back orders. It's really difficult to keep on top of back orders. I think that the supply chains, while they're getting better in some parts of the industry, are still the same in other parts of the industry. So, we are doing our best to keep on top of them. And we pride ourselves in being a company that is going to get you when you need it. So if there's something that you need immediately, check our website. If you don't have information there, call us, and we will get it to you, and we will do whatever we can to get you when you need it.
Absolutely. And I think that it's starting to loosen up, but it is absolutely important that people call if they have a hard deadline.
Yeah, I think the way that it feels like with me is 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things get much better, and then maybe it's like, just pull it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Temper those expectations.
Exactly. So for things that maybe are not in our normal location sound wheelhouse, but we think are cool, TK, you brought something up that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, as a owner of the Neumann monitors, they have released their new KH120. This is going to be the Mark II. So the previous version was pretty widely adopted in the industry. Neumann is known for being very precise and exact with their products. So expect nothing less with their monitors, speakers. And yeah, this is just really awesome. Now you have the ability to network with the AES-67. And they also have, basically they're closing the loop on their whole system. With this system, you're able to introduce a alignment microphone and basically put this in any environment. Now, I have the KH80s. I've used them in this office here, and I did an alignment. They sound amazing. Went from flat to better. So yeah, it's really, really nice to kind of have that technology. And a lot of people don't have, prepped rooms, treated rooms. So it's a nice option to have. A little bit of coin you pay on the front end, but for what you're getting, it's certainly worth it, in my opinion.
Cool. And it looks like there's a $400 discount to people who have existing Neumanns if they want to upgrade.
Yep. And it works with other components of the system. You don't have to go full Neumann and have the sub and their loudspeakers. You can kind of mix it up, and the software is pretty flexible in that regard. So I would implore you to check it out online if you'd like more details.
Cool.
But it's really good. We'll leave a link in the description.
Nice. All right. And Peter, you have a lot of off the beaten path things you want to talk about.
Well, yeah. I mean, the first thing I would talk about is the Cedar VoicEX. It is basically Cedar's implementation of an artificial intelligence noise reduction algorithm. It is a combination of hardware and a GUI for control. I'm looking forward to hearing it myself at October's AES convention. I'm sure there's a fidelity setting, but my sense is that it's more about intelligibility.
Got it. All right. And what are the other ones you were looking at?
I saw that PepWave has a trade-in. If an end user is replacing a competing router of any brand, they get a $400 discount. And existing customers get to keep their existing devices. But the competing devices need to get destroyed.
Or terminated.
Terminated.
There
Yes.
we go. Finally.
There you go. And then the Sennheiser Ambeo 2-channel spatial audio, they have come up with an update that is suited to live production. I haven't seen it myself, but I'm looking forward to digging in.
It made me, when I researched this, it deja vu'd me to NAB when we went to the West Hall. They had a soccer field, small condensed version of that, and they had some cameras in, and it just deja vu me to thinking that that was the Sennheiser display. It actually wasn't, but in the investigation of trying to learn more about the spatial audio, it really took me to a place where Apple has kind of done a lot of the work in terms of like what the familiarity of this whole technology is. You have AirPods, you have spatial audio, immersive, augmented reality. Those things we're very familiar with because of Apple, and it kind of feels a lot of the same. There's a YouTube ad that Sennheiser's put out where they take a container in the middle of the jungle, and they show you how they're able to have like 7 zones of audio and how it peaks with animals and how they have much better hearing than humans. So it was a really cool experiment just to see, and I look forward to seeing how they implement this more.
Me too. And it sounds that now that you mention Apple, like the Ambeo 2-channel plugin is going to go great with their AR goggles. So I imagine now, since it's especially for live production, this is really going to be interesting for interactivity.
Cool. So we're getting ready to wrap up here. Final thoughts for June?
Goodbye, June. Hello, July. And yeah, let's get the writers, strike settled.
Yep. Fairly and equitably.
Fairly and equitably. Let's get back to work.
And TK, what about you? Any final thoughts for June?
No, not for June, but I am looking forward to July. I'm going to make a visit to Wisycom and see what they have going. They just moved to a new facility, so it'll be fun to kind of get out and do a manufacturer tour. This will be my first one. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, great. Well, happy summer. So we're trying to do a lot more videos. So we've got a bunch posted on our YouTube channel, gothamsound.tv. A couple to check out if you're interested. Encrypted wireless for sports. Did a video with Glenn Sanders on the GUI bridge interface with the RX8, the URXs, and the transmitters. We did an interview with Aaron Chandler and Joe File about their sound work on the show Outlast. We've got some really cool service things that we've been doing with our senior service technician, Alex Rastopshin. wiring LEMOs, Wisycom antenna replacement, and fixing a Sennheiser MKH50. So those are all on GothamSound.tv. You can, as always, follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. And, most importantly, we want to hear from you, so you can leave any questions you have in the comments. We will see them. You can contact us in any way you can think of. But the best way to get us is to email us at info@gothamsound.com. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.